Right. The Rebbe is continuing talking about what exactly happened when the Jews wandered around in the desert. And that, of course, is relevant to this week's Torah portion and next week's. This week's Torah portion is Bashalach. The Jews got out of Egypt and they went across the Yam Suf. God split the sea. And next week they received the Torah. Okay. The Rebbe said this is really all a preparation for us, filling the world with the awareness of the truth of what Hashem really is. And this is a preparation. This whole idea is a preparation for the completion. The giving of the Torah was only a preparation for Mashiach. Why? It says that when God gave the Torah, God gave the Torah, it was one time. It'll never happen again. But it's not going to happen again that God is going to say to the Jewish people, okay, I gave the Torah once, I want to give it again. Let's do a rerun of this. God said, okay, takes all the Jewish people on. He said, I am God, your God. From now on, all you have to do is eat potatoes. That's all. Just eat potatoes. Now I'm going to give you recipes on how to make French potatoes, how to make salted potatoes, how to make French fries, how to make chips, how to make this, how to do this. That's what you got to do. Potatoes. That's all you have to do. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. God gave the Torah. No one can change the Torah. God, and even God himself. God is not going to change the Torah. Every word, every commandment, every letter is exact the will of God. God is not going to change it. It's just like if you read an anatomy book. An anatomy, when you look at anatomy, here's the head. Inside of the head is the brain. Inside of the heart, there's the lungs. I'm saying the lung. There's inside of the chest. There's the lungs. There's the heart. Someone reads a book. Excuse me, teacher. Excuse me, but I don't think you realize that this anatomy book was written in. It was printed in 1925. I mean, things have changed since then. It's 100 years ago. And teachers, listen, it doesn't make any difference if it was written 1,000 years ago. That's what man is. Man is, you can't put the brain in the heart, right? The people say, well, I think that, the world has progressed since then. I think that we should, change it around. Why isn't the brain in the chest? Why isn't the heart in the head? Why not? All the kids say, yeah, I think he's right. Why should we do it? It's a new world. We can't, right? That's bigotry. The brain only goes in the head. Only the head has to hold the brain. That's not right. That's not right. We have to have inclusion. We have to have diversity. Some people should have their brain and their heart, and some people have the brain. Of course, that's ridiculous. That's insane, right? Because that's what human beings. Well, the same thing with the Torah, but infinitely more so. The Torah is the will, the brain, the heart of God, and never going to change. Since Kivin Shabo, because in it was given Shabo and Idnu, Lorak is not only the ideas of Torah, which you can learn, but also in Yani Torah She'id Galu Lasid Lobo, because the Torah is the whole plan for creation, and the Torah is the plan for goal of the creation, which is the revelation of Mashiach, the revelation of God in the world. All the things that are going to come by means of God, they're all in the Torah. Nevertheless, when it says that when Mashiach comes, there's going to be a new Torah. Torah Chadashim Eitz. Where does it say that? Really, it only says it in the Midrash. The sentence in Isaiah says the Torah will come out from me. And the Midrash says it's going to be a new Torah. So Mashiach is going to make a new Torah. What type of new Torah? Says the Rebbe, calm down. The Torah is never going to change. Never going to change. Nothing is going to change. If so, what does it mean, a new Torah? It says, Chidush Mamish, it's going to be totally new. Because in Mountain Torah, it says, Inyan Elu, because in Mount Sinai, what was really in the Torah was concealed. To the degree that Galutam, the revelation, will be something brand new. Whoa. right? Like I told you before, I use this example, but I think it's not a bad example, right? Someone gets an inheritance from his grandmother, right? His grandmother gives a house to this person and a car to this person and $1 million to this person. And to me, she only gave a picture. What's a picture? What's this? Open up a picture. What type of picture? I take it to an art dealer. Says the picture, it's not a very nice picture. I don't think anybody will buy this picture from you. I don't really want it. Takes another art dealer, says, you know what? Listen, I'll do you a favor. I'll give you $100 for it. Takes it to another art dealer, says, where'd you get this picture? Says, my grandmother gave it to me. This is what your grandmother, she was like a wealthy woman. So, no, she wasn't particularly wealthy. Well, this picture is worth $200 million. It's a genuine, whatever it is, Monet or something like that, right? It's a genuine, 200 million, what? $200 million? Because it's, let me check if it's genuine. Maybe it's not genuine. Yep, that's it. It's a genuine picture, right? This was one of the biggest geniuses that ever drew pictures, Rembrandt, right? You can see every movement, every square, everything. Just look at the light, how he sees, how he thinks, how he feels. It's the same thing with the Torah. The Torah was given to us by Hashem, but we don't know really what the true godliness is. We know what the commandments are. We know what the Torah means, with the simple meaning. That's what the Talmud is, right? We know what the Torah is. We know where you're supposed to put your tefillin and which day is Shabbat and what it means on Shabbat. You're not supposed to burn fire. We know all those things, right? But we don't know the godliness in it. We don't even know what that means, the godliness in it. There are some tzaddikim that they feel, what does it mean, right? That's what's going to be revealed. In the future will be revealed the life of the Torah, the soul of the Torah. Love, it won't negate in any way the body of the Torah, the commandments. And these are the levels of the Torah. I'm sorry. One of the explanations is this, that in the giving of the Torah was given, revealed 10 commandments, Keneged, corresponding to the 10 utterances that God created the world with, and the 10 sfirot, which are the principles by which God creates the world and deals with the world. Dargas, these are levels of godliness that they have some sort of a connection to the world. Like it's explained, Shenigla Torah, this is which is explained in the revealed Torah. The revealed Torah, the commandments. These are laws which are relevant to a person's conduct day to day in the world. But the level of godliness, which is in lo erech, which is incomparable, or connection to the world, this was not revealed in Torah. And just a simple thing, what was in the Holy of Holies when there was the temple? What was in the Holy of Holies? In the second temple, it was also in the Holy of Holies, but it was hidden down underneath in the ground. It was under the Torah. Why is the Torah so special? There should have been a special, shining, brilliant stone or some sort of a secret, whatever it is, a secret scepter or something like that. The 10 Commandments, that was in it. And not only the 10 Commandments, but also the written Torah was also there. Scroll was there. The Holy of Holies, Holy of Holies. No one could go into the Holy of Holies. If you went into the Holy of Holies, there was so much godliness, you'd burn up. A person would die going into the Holy of Holies. It says, but that's because that's the essence of God, which is in the Torah. And hasn't been revealed. But in the future, Tidgaleh will reveal in the Torah these levels of godliness which are incomparable to the world. Like we said before, on the inside of the Torah, the secrets, like the Rambam says, Maimonides says, the secret reasons and the concealed mysteries of the Torah. Knowing God until the revelation of God's essence, really. Like it says, Torah Chadasha me'ite, like it says, the new Torah will come from me, says God. From me. Will feel really the giver of the Torah in the Torah. Like it says, Ki kulam yadu oti, everyone knows me, the oneness of God. Antu chad b'lo v'cheshbon. And so let me just take my example again, right? Let's say a person gets a picture, and he gets a picture, and somebody says, you know what this is? It's a genuine Rembrandt. And the person who's receiving the picture is Rembrandt's granddaughter. And she used to love him. They were so close, and he was such a wonderful person. He treated her well. She didn't know this was one of his pictures. So now someone says, this is a genuine Rembrandt. This thing is worth $500,000. So she starts crying and weeping. 100 million is a lot of money, right? Says, no, I'm weeping because this is my grandfather. I loved him so much. This is his picture. He drew it. He put his energy into this picture. That's worth more to me than the $1 million. It's the same thing with us. The Torah has all the spiritual levels, but it's from God himself. Feeling God himself. And every Jew loves God. Every Jew. Of course, the difference is by the story I said, the grandfather was passed away, and God, of course, we can say that this whole thing is hinted at in the preparation for the giving of the Torah. It has to be something like now, the preparation we make for the future revelation that the Jews made back then. The Masa'ot, that they made these journeys in the desert, and in the war that they made with Amalek before they got the Torah, and with Yitro saying, thank God that all of them, all these things, the war they made with Amalek, the splitting of the sea, the journeying in the desert that they made before they received the Torah, this is a preparation to the refinement and elevating the sparks of holiness which come from this level, like we said before, 1 over 10. The one God, which is over the 10 commandments, over the 10 utterances, over the 10 sphirot. So that was the preparation for receiving the Torah, feeling the oneness of God, the giver of the Torah. But then that was only the beginning of the giving of the Torah. And the completion is going to be in the future. The main giving of the Torah is going to be by means of our deeds and our service all the time of exile. You were back then to prepare for the receiving of the Torah. There had to be the war with Amalek, and they had to go make a few journeys in the desert, and they had to go through the sea. But now we're also preparing, and our preparation is our deeds. It depends on us. We already received the Torah, the revealed Torah. Nowadays, we have to refine the whole entire world. The Jews are scattered all over. In the Midbar Amim, it says in the desert of the nations, the wasteland, like it's known that all the time of the exile, this is the 42 journeys are hinted at the time the Jews are in exile, these whole thousands of years. This is likened to the 42 journeys that the Jews made in the desert to refine and to elevate the sparks of holiness, like it's known, what the rabbis say, Lo Tigla, God did not put the Jews among the non-Jews except to add to them converts. The Jews are scattered around the world in order to arouse converts. We're saying not necessarily we're talking about human converts. This is talking about converting the world and revealing the hidden godliness in the world to holy. What is a convert? A Jew, a non-Jew that wants to convert. What does it really mean? It says, generally speaking, what it means is that non-Jew is really not a non-Jew. That Jew had a Jewish soul. He had a non-Jewish body. For whatever reason God wanted it to be that way. And the Jewish soul inside of that body is stirring. It wants to do the commandments. It wants to come close to God. It wants to learn Torah. It wants to be a Jew. It wants to be Jewish. And they say before a person converts, you say, listen, you're only going to suffer. It's only going to be bad for you. And you're not going to be able to do what you want. You can't marry what you want, who you want. You can't eat what you want. You get punished. If you do light a cigarette on Shabbos, you get punished. No, you're a non-Jew. You can light as many cigarettes as you want to. No problem. And the person is supposed to say, I don't care. I just want to be close to God. I want to be a Jew. I mean, what does it show? It shows that he already is a Jew. It already is a Jew. That's insane. Who wants to write? It's like selling a car, saying, listen, I want you to know this car, the wheels fall off. You're going to have trouble with the motor. Sometimes the brakes go bad. Like the steering wheel, it's a big question if it works. You sure you want to buy it? I don't care. I just want this car. That's what I want. Right? I want a 1935, whatever it is, Ford. Who would buy a car like that? That's ridiculous. Unless you want to fix it up. It says Judaism, you're not going to fix it up. You have to do what it says, and you're only going to suffer. It's only going to be bad. You want it? Oh, that's what I want. That's not normal. That means that the world doesn't have any effect on you. And what does have an effect on you is godliness. That's called elevating the world. That's called being in the world, and that the world doesn't have a bad effect on you. That's called being a convert. You're converting the world. Until the completion of this, and what the goal is that eventually there won't be any more bad in the world. There won't be any more concealment. It says, Ruach Hatuma Avir Min Oretz, the spirit of impurity, of death, will be passed away from the world. That's the idea of Macha Emcha. That's the idea of wiping out Amalek. That's the nowadays. When we say that from this, we can come immediately when we do this preparation, and you do Torah and you do commandments, being totally devoted to Hashem. You come to the completion of why God gave the Torah back then in the desert, in a way, Torah Chadasha, the Torah becomes new, it becomes fresh. The Kain l'shleimus the Kanisa le'eretz tova urachava begu'ula mitit shlema, and so it is in the future redemption, a land of the 10 Eser almost. God promised Abraham that the Jews would get the land of was inhabited by 10 nations, and up to now we've only gotten, since Moses went into Yeshua went into the land of Israel, he only got 7. 3 are still waiting. God didn't give it to us yet. Since there will be added on to the 7 nations, which that's refining, corresponding to refining of the 7 emotions of what's called tohu, 7 emotions. They will also conquer the 3 nations of the Kini and the Kenizi and the Kadmoni, which is that's the purification of Keter, Chachma, and Bina of Tohu. Tohu is the world which is said is above the source of all bad. It's pure godliness, but the source of all bad. We refine that until then in the future, the land of Israel, it says, will spread over the whole world. The whole entire world will feel the holiness of Israel. It will be a dwelling for God in this physical world. Something like a dwelling where God's essence lives. That's where a person wants to go home. Take me back home. Like home is where the essence is. That's what God wants. We can also add on that everything that we said before, this stresses also that this Shabbat is called Shabbat Shira. It's called the Shabbat of song. Why? Because we read in this Shabbat the revelation of God at Yam Suf, the splitting of the sea, and the Jewish people sang. So this Shabbat is called the Shabbat of song. A song. Shabbat Shira, the Shabbat of song, includes in it all the ideas of the elevation and is made by means of a song. Like we said before, it says that the Mishnah in Shabbat that says all animals that go around with a ring around their neck, they're allowed to go out on Shabbat with a ring around their neck. They're allowed to go on. Animals are not supposed to carry for you. But if the animal always has a ring around its neck, that's called a shear, as it can go on. But the word shear also means a song. And Bale Shir means people who possess song, they sing. Bale Shir, if a person, you sing, then you go out with that sing. And also, Nimshachim, you can draw it, Nimshachim Bashir. The animal says they can go out with the ring around their neck, and you can hold on to that ring and pull them with them. So Chassidut translates it a little bit differently. In addition to the simple meaning, but underneath that, call Bale Shir, anyone who sings, his soul will go out with the song, and it will draw godliness down with the song. Yotzim, going out with song and drawing down with song, like we said before. And that's the idea of this Shabbat, is we go out of ourselves and we draw godliness more into the world the way it's supposed to be. Al Pia Yedua, like it's known, that all the elevations in the world are included in one name of God. It's the name of God, which is called 42. 42, Anabakoach. There's 42 letters in this poem. It's a poem. It's a poem, and we say it every day. We say it a few times every day. And it says this poem is a poem it's according to Kabbalah, it was written according to Kabbalah, was the poem which it hints at the 42, and there's 42 aspects of elevation, powers of elevation that inspire us to elevate ourselves, to go out of ourselves. It's not by accident that how many journeys did the Jews take in the desert? 42. There's 42 letters. 42 letters, 7 times 6. 7 times 6. And it's, according to this, there were 42 journeys, and that corresponds to this name of God, which is 42, Mem Beit. This is calling elevation from one level to another. The 42 elevations. Elevations means simply realizing more and more that God is the creator, he's the boss, and I'm not the boss. You go out from the bad, your egotism, you go into the good. That by means of this refinement of the world, Nimsa comes out, Shabbat Shira, this Shabbat, which is the Sabbath Shabbat of song, that it includes in it all of the elevations which are in all the songs, includes in it all of the elevations which of all of the journeys that the Jewish people took in the desert, which corresponds now to all of the journeys the Jewish people have been taking in the exile for the last 2,000 years since the temple was destroyed, including all of our deeds in this time of exile. And after we finish all the service of refinement and all of the details in the desert, then, which are included in this Shabbat of the Sabbath of song, then we can come to a new song, Shir Chadash Latid Lavo. Nowadays we say Shira Chadasha Shiv Hulim. Shiv, it was a feminine. The song is feminine. What's feminine? We said before, from below to above. The feminine aspect is the receiver. The receiver. The song of the receiver means that the receiver elevates itself, like thanks, like Mother Earth. The earth receives. So the Shirah is the feminine song. That's what the Jewish people sing now. We're elevating from below to above. We have a longing for the revelation of God. We have a longing for the truth, but the truth is not here. We don't see it, but we have a longing for it. We want it. In the future, it's going to be Shir Chadash. It's going to be a masculine song. God is going to sing the song. He's going to provide all the revelations that we've been yearning for all of this 2,000 years of exile. A different type of a song. It says in Mechilta, Mechilta is one of the, it's a midrash. Eser Shirotein. There are 10 songs. The first one was said when the Jews left Egypt. 10 songs the Jewish people sang. The Jewish people sang, the first one they sang when they were in Egypt. The second one they sang, this one we're singing now, on the sea. Like it says, Az Yashir Moshe. The sixth one said Dvorah and Barak. That's the Haftorah of this. Like it says, Tashar Dvorah Barak. The Dvorah and Barak, they sang. Barak, he was the chief of staff. He led the armies, and Dvorah, she came with him to be a spiritual inspiration. Anyway, they defeated Sisera, it says the king Sisera, and they sang a song. That's this week's Torah Bush. So the first song they sang when they were in Egypt. The second song they sang when they went across the sea. The sixth song was sung by Dvorah and Barak. You have to look over there in the Midrash. Where does it say? 97. Also in Midrash Tanchuma, it says, other places. What are these 10 songs? So it says that the 10th song will be sung by Moshiach in the future. Like it says, Shiru LaHashem Shir Chadash. It says, sing to God a new song. All of the previous songs, the other 9, Kulam Korot B'Lashon Nekeva. They are all feminine, like I said, Shirah. Kashem Shah Nekeva, just like a woman, she gives birth. Also, Hachua, the salvation, which will Sha'avru, all the salvations that were from the past, right, were giving birth, but they were feminine, but the future that's going to be is there's not going to be any redemption afterwards. God is going to do it himself. What's it saying? There's going to be 9 songs. Each one of those 9 songs are about redemption, a salvation, a happiness. It's going to happen. When the Jews got out of Egypt, they sang a song. I guess the night of Passover, and they sang a song. When the Jews went over the sea, they sang a song of happiness, and etc. When Barak and Devorah, they won, they sang a song. But all these songs are like a woman giving birth. A woman gives birth, the child comes out, she's happy. Right? The woman's happy, but she's singing, so to speak, from below to above. And there's going to be problems that come afterwards. There has to be more. There are more songs. But the 10th song is the last one. The 10th song is the last one because that's going to be God himself. He's going to do the revelation. One of the differences between the previous 9 songs and the 10th song, why are we talking about this? Because we're saying that everything that we had, the going out of Egypt and the staying in Egypt and the splitting of the sea and even receiving the Torah, these are all preparations for this future, for the 10th song. The 10th song, God is going to do it himself. All the others up to now, it's been the Jewish people have been partners. We didn't see the results. We didn't really get the point. The pure godliness. The future, it's going to be pure godliness. We'll see it. That's what it means, a new Torah. We'll see the godliness of the Torah. God will be revealed. One of the differences between the 9 songs that the Jewish people sang and the 10th one that's going to be the times of the Moshiach is in the previous 9 ones were feminine. The Nirgish, we can mainly feel that it's from below to above, that we are yearning, singing, that the receiver himself desires and longs to go out from the level where it is and to go to a higher level. In other words, each redemption was just a hint at a redemption after it. It was going to come afterwards. The Jewish people, they sang on the night of Passover, it was hinting at there's going to be something more than this. Just going out of Egypt, when the sea split, they were thankful, they were grateful, they went up, but they know God is just giving us a little taste of something more, which is not the case. The 10th song that we're going to sing in the times of the Mashiach, this will be masculine. We'll feel mainly God. We'll feel what God is giving us from above to below. We'll really, truly internalize and appreciate that by means of this will be a true unification and a unification, right? Unity with God. Like it says, Amy Yoso Shir, even though it's a song, She'enyano Aliyah, which generally speaking, a song is going from below to above, but this is in a way that we can feel it, not so much the longing, because that's what they think of a song is, but the main thing is God is revealing himself. If we can even say even gratitude, and by means of this, we have the both things, that first of all, we're singing the song from below to above, and God is revealing himself from above to below. That's the whole idea of the future song. We can say that that's the whole thing of this coming Shabbat, Shabbat Shirah, the song, Shabbat of song. This is connected to the Shir Chadash, with the 10th song. This is going to be masculine. There is the completion of all of the other previous 9 songs that there were before, that went from below to above, including also feeling the Devekus Viskalos Mitzad Giloi Milamayla Me'aser, revelation that's above even the 10. What do we say? When the Mashiach is revealed, and he reveals the godliness in the world, then the Jewish people will sing a new song, a song which stresses mostly the revelation of God, not the longing for God. But when there's the revelation of God to the Jewish people, then that itself will be followed by even a higher revelation of God's essence that previously wasn't even revealed at Mount Sinai. And that's what's called the one which is over the 10. That's what means the new Torah. At Mount Sinai, of course, was revealed the essence of God, but it wasn't permanent. It wasn't permanent in the world. In the future, it says, when Mashiach comes, be a revelation of godliness, which will be like Sinai, but unlike Sinai, it'll be permanent in the world. We'll feel the oneness of the God in the 10 Sfirot and the 10 utterances, and etc. The Yesh L'Kasher, we can also, like that's the oneness of God, which is not countable. That's like the 11 journeys that the Jewish people could have taken from the giving of the Torah to Israel, could have taken. That's the ideal. That's the thought behind it. Instead, they took 42 years. But the 11 was still there. 11 is one that's over the 10. So in the future, there's going to be the 10 songs, pure devotion, pure connection to God, but there'll be something on one above that, even that's going to be revealed. What are we talking about? I have no idea. I don't know what it means. But what I do know, that the world is not supposed to be the way it is now. and that definitely God has amazing, good surprises in store for us. And the Rebbe is saying it's even better than you can possibly imagine. It's not just the number 10, completion of the world and completion of godliness. No, it's going to be some sort of a new level of one above the 10, 11. We can attach this also to the idea of the Shir HaShirim, the Song of King Solomon that he wrote. This is called Kodesh Kodeshim. All the songs, all the writings in Judaism are holy, and the Song of Songs is Holy of Holies. Like the Marsha explains, one of the explanations of the commentaries, the greatest of the commentators on the Talmud, that the 10 songs were in the world. One was above the other. One was above the other. Each song that the Jewish people sang, these 10 songs, each one was higher than the others. Since that all of them were holy, so the 10th song, which is the holiness, the holiest of all of them, will be above all of them. This also here is all of them. Hachinami Kodesh Kodashim. It says the 10th song that the Jewish people will sing in the days of the Mashiach will be Holy of Holies, and the Song of Songs of King Solomon is at the same place. Shashaychus, the connection to the Song of Songs of King Solomon that was said nowadays to the 10th song, what's going to be in the future, is that just like in the 10th song, which is going to be sung by Mashiach, this includes all the 9 songs before it, namely all of the elevations that the Jewish people received beforehand, just like it's attached to this new song that's going to be in the future, right? The 10th song that will feel the connection that God is singing it to us. By means of this, we will, we come to the new song, Lashon Zachar, in the future itself, which this is above all of the other 10 songs that we had before. That's the number 11, the number 1. The song that its whole thing is just pure godliness revealed in the world. This is the 11th. That's somehow or other hinted at the Shir HaShirim of King Solomon, the Song of Songs of King Solomon. And this we're going to have to do tomorrow. We're going to have to do this tomorrow also and complete this tomorrow. Maybe should we do one more? Should we try one more? Zion, 1 second. Let's see where this is. No. 1 second. Maybe we can do it, huh? Not that long, I guess. Okay, here we go. According to what we said before, and now we can explain the connection between Parshat Bashalach and Yitro to the time, it's this Shabbat and next Shabbat, to the time when we're reading it. What's the time we're reading it? The 10th day of Shvat. The 10th day of Shvat. The 10th day of Shvat, of course, that's when the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe passed away. And on that same date, a year later, our Rebbe took over, which really is just one continuation. Okay, we'll see. Nevertheless, the month of Shvat happens to be which month? The 11th month. We're just talking about 11, Echad 11th month. If you count the months from Nisan. This is the Ashtei Chodesh. This is the month of Shvat. The last month, the 12th month of the year is Adar, when Purim is, right? This is especially relevant to the future redemption, that then there will be a revelation of the 11. We said before, the 11th song, Antu Chad, the oneness of God. That therefore, in the month of Shvat, we come to the month of Adar, which the month of Adar was the month of the redemption of Purim. This was a revelation, a redemption, which was not permanent. It says, Akati Agde Achashverosh Anam. And the redemption of Purim, as miraculous as it was, it says, nevertheless, we don't say Hallel on that holiday because we still are servants of Achashverosh. We're still in exile. And after that, we celebrate Pesach, Passover. That's in the month of Nisan. That then all the Jewish people were taken out of Egypt, and the month that they were is going to be the future redemption. Like it says, one opinion is that the future redemption of Moshiach is also going to be in Nisan. Okay. All these are hinting at the idea of Geula, a massive incredible change in the spirituality of the physical world. That the physical world will actually start to glow with meaning, with life, with I say happiness. The world. We'll see every detail of the world. We'll see why God is creating it, why it's so important. B'chodesh Shvat, and this month, the month of Shvat, which is the 11th month itself, we can come to the 10th month of the Shvat, and the 11th month, that's 11 days from Chorev, the 11th day of the month, that's the 11th, which is the 11th of the 11th. Okay, what are we talking about here? The previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, he passed away in the 10th day of the 11th month. So the 11th month, the Rebbe wants to say, is Holy of Holies. That represents the one which is above 10. The one which is above 10. Like the Song of Songs, Shir of Shirim. It represents the godliness which will be above the 10th song that Moshiach will sing. The Rebbe himself, our Rebbe, he took over the next year, took over the leadership, but not on the 10th day of Shvat, the day after, the 11th, he took over. 11th of Shvat, he took over. So it means Shvat is the 11th month. The Rebbe took over on the 11th day of the 11th month. And we can also add on another thing, that this is also the 11th day regarding the whole month of the 11th month. That the 11 is in a way of the 11th day, means the 11th day is that the number 11 becomes day, shining. Or Vigila, like it says before. Like it says, God called the light day. Number 2, the difference between a month and a day is that the month is mainly attached to the moon, and the day is attached to the sun. Right when the sun sets, that's when the day starts in Judaism. From this, the 11th month, this shows on 11 how it is to the receiver, 11, the moon. But day, the 11th day of the 11th month, this is more connected to the giver, to the sun. The sun is the one who gives. So that the Rebbe took over being the leader of Chabad on the 11th day of the 11th month, as this shows that it's the revelation of everything that was in the number 11, which we said 11 is this level which is going to be revealed only by Mashiach in the future. Level of godliness in the world. From the number 11, we come to the number 12, which is 12 is the gematria Echad. God is one. Echad. The Yom Echad, that's the numerical value. I'm sorry. From the we come afterwards. I'm to number 13. We come after 11, 12, then there's 13. 13, that's the word Echad, God's oneness. That stresses this year that the 13th day of this month will be on Shabbat. By us, it's not that way. By us, the 13th day of the month will be on what? On Tuesday. And from it, we come immediately to the first day of the month, Yom Echad. Okay, the Rebbe is talking about Shabbat. Okay. In the days of the month, then there's the 14th day of the month, and then we come to Tu B'Shvat. Tu B'Shvat is the end of our Parsha, Yad al Kes Hashem. It says God lifted his hand and made an oath. That's Tet Vav, is that after God lifted up his hand and swore to wipe out Amalek. And from that comes the number, says that God's name is not complete. The Yud Hey of God's name, which is 15, is separated from the Vav Hey, well, that's 11. That again, we return to the number 11. Okay. The main advantage of the 15th day of the month, it's Tu B'Shvat. That's what's called the New Year of Trees. And that's when we determine Meiser. One is given 1/10 You can't give from one year to the other, and Tu B'Shvat is the cutoff point in the land of Israel. So Tu B'Shvat is hinted at what the Jewish people do on Tu B'Shvat. They eat fruits that God. It's showing that God chose the Jewish people, and God chose the land of Israel for the Jewish people. That's stressed on Tu B'Shvat. Tu B'Shvat is a holiday only celebrated in Israel. It's the day of the Rosh Hashanah of trees, because it's talking about giving a tithe, and that tithe is only relevant to the fruits of Israel. Israel is the land of wheat and what's called the 7 different types of fruits of it, special to the land of Israel. It says wheat and barley, grapes, figs, pomegranates, olives, and dates. That's the ultimate completion, is when the Jews will go into the land of Israel in the future. Tu B'Shvat is stressing the land of Israel and the fruits of Israel, and the Jews are not going to be all together in Israel until Mashiach brings them. So Tu B'Shvat is stressing Mashiach coming, and especially the new song which is going to be sung, because Tu B'Shvat, Tu is 15. That's when the first 2 letters of God's name, Yud and Hey, which is 15, will be joined together with the Vav Hey. That's relevant to the fruits simply, and also the fruits of the land of Israel is mainly, what's the fruits of the land of Israel? Pleasure. The pleasure that God gets from us learning Torah, and the pleasure that we get from God's pleasure. The secrets of the Torah, the inside of the Torah. That's the honey, the milk and honey, which is the inside of the Torah. And that's going to be revealed by the new Torah that's going to be given. So if so, what's the Rebbe trying to say? We have hints. We have the revelations. We have ideas. It's all hinting at the same thing, something that's concealed from us, but it's going to be revealed. The number 11, the month of Shvat, the 11th day of the 11th month. 11 shows the oneness of God, which is revealed in the 10 aspects of creation, the 10 spheroid, all these hints that are being given to us, these messages and these codes which are being given to us. The main thing is that it's hinted at something that's supposed to be happening any moment, and that's where our direction should be. That's what we should be looking forward to. That's what we should be, relying on, the revelation of God, which is going to be any moment now. That's the number 11 in this physical world, which that's represented by Tu B'Shvat, the physical world in the land of Israel, with all of the fruits, the pleasure which God gets from the land of Israel by means of our deeds, all the time of wandering around in this desert in the 42 journeys. And we'll continue this, God willing, tomorrow. We'll finish it. There's only really 1 left to go. There's 2 left to go. We can finish this, and God willing, we'll come back to it tomorrow and finish. Now,